Good morning, campers. Let's do a reading. We're going to jump right in today. We're going to start from how are you feeling this collective, so you know this is your collective, and if that fits, you're welcome to stay. How are you feeling this collective? I'm feeling quite good, so I'm picking up good energy. So let's see. How is this collective feeling? Let's do 4 of these, and then I sort of want to do tarot on top of that. Hunger. All right, okay, not so good. Maybe the energy is just a sort of a fiery energy that I'm picking up, but you don't know how to channel it properly right now. Let's see. Okay. All right, I want to do one more. I'm sort of guided to do 5. Okay, energy. We do have energy. Okay, so your first card is hunger. You know that this is my card of longing. So you're hungry for something. You're longing for something. We have anger and we have frustration, which is not the nicest energy. So but we do have energy as well. So you may feel this collective, like you do have a lot of energy within you, a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, but maybe you don't necessarily know how to deal with them properly, how to channel them properly, and you do get moments of frustration, you do get moments of anger. You guys know that this is my card of longing, and I am hearing, I want love with this one. So this collective, I feel like you would be wanting love, you would be seeking for love. So maybe you get frustrated with yourself, maybe you get frustrated with life, with others. We're gonna tap into that in a moment. What I am liking is that you do have surrender. You do have surrender. I'm hearing fighting with yourself. I feel like this is my collective where I'm not sensing any energy attached to you, this collective. But again, we're going to do tarot in a moment. But I feel like this is my collective. I want love. I want to be with someone. I want to meet my soulmate. I surrender to the flow of life. I surrender to the fact that I cannot force things. I cannot force the river. But sometimes I get a little bit frustrated, a little bit reckless, I'm hearing as well. And we do have that energy. That's your last card. I feel like this is a little bit, how do I channel this energy? What do I do with myself? With all this love I have to give, I'm hearing. Give it to yourself. We have flow at the bottom of the deck. I feel like you would be trying to go with the flow. You would be trying to surrender to the flow of life. Let's do tarot to feel into your energy. I sort of want to leave that energy on the side. Let's see what we're hungry for. I'm hearing this. I'm hungry for your love. You know this song? I love this song. Let's see what you're hungry for. Okay, we have 2 cards. We have 10 of Wands and we have 9 of Wands. 3 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Ay, 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 ay. I feel like this collective, you would be aware that you are in longing for love. You would be aware. Well, the fact that you're watching means that you have a level of, self-consciousness and self-awareness. So you would know that love is something that you want, that you need, that you lack. Maybe. I've done a video about law of attraction yesterday, so go ahead and watch that. But maybe you even realize that you cannot attract anything from lack. Right? You cannot attract anything from not having the vibration of that thing that you want to attract. So I am sensing a little bit of that wounded warrior. So maybe, I feel like this collective, you've been looking for love for quite a while. Maybe even fighting for love, I'm hearing. Trying to find love. Maybe you went through a couple of, karmic relationships, maybe quite harsh karmic relationships. Anger, the tower, You guys, and look at this tower in this specific deck. This is on fire. This is why I was sensing this. It's this fire. Maybe you're fire sign as well. Maybe a detail. Leo, Aries, Sag. But I feel like this collective. Why would you be so angry? Why would you be so angry? You know you cannot attract beautiful, true, peaceful love if you're angry. Maybe you have a bit of a temper, this collective, I'm hearing. Maybe it's something you're conscious of. You know how I always say this to you guys, and it's actually, I have a project and a new oracle deck that I'll be launching them in December, to work through your emotions, to get to know your emotions, right? And I always say this: shadows disguise themselves as light, right? Shadows don't like to be, and our ego doesn't like to be recognized as a shadow in his ego. So we say to ourselves, it's a good thing. Or we say to ourselves, this is just the way I am. Meanwhile, it's a big fat shadow, right? So oftentimes people say, I'm just temperamental, I'm just like fiery, I'm just this fire sign. Oftentimes they say that, especially Sagittarius. Maybe you are Sagittarius, but it's not true. It's not true. True fire, if you're ruled by, I've done a video about elements recently as well. You can go ahead and watch that if you scroll through my TikTok. When you are fire, ruled by fire, whether that's a fire sign or no, it's not necessarily always a match. But if your key element, ruling element is fire, if you are in your side of light, it's a beautiful quality. It doesn't mean anger, it doesn't mean temper. It means that you're a leader, that you're charismatic, that you're extrovert, that you magnetize people, that you're that person that sort of activates crowds, right? And like motivates and inspires people. But it doesn't necessarily have to come with anger and frustrations. These are shadows. There's a reason it's coming to my mind. Frustration. But there's definitely an internal fire within you right now. I can sense this. It's like there's a lot. We're going to try to ease that frustration within you. Let's see. 2 more for your first row. They're not wanting to jump. I'm hearing stubborn as well. Maybe you're a bit stubborn person, a little resistant to surrender, to go with the flow, to listen to advice. 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups. That's on top of that frustration. I'm sorry, I'm playing with my cards because they're new. And both decks that I got recently, they're frustrating me because they're sort of a floppy kind of a cards. I don't like that. To play with them a little more. But what I'm hearing, I'm sensing it's okay, bear with me. We're going to address this. We'll walk you through this because I feel this energy, someone who is very fiery, you would think of yourself as someone who is very passionate, very charismatic, right? Very, like the spark. And there's this internal battle within you, I feel, because there's a side of you that is very independent, that is very fierce, that is very, I can make it on my own, you know what I mean? But there's this other part of you that hungers for love, that longs for love for another. And I feel like you're frustrated with yourself. But you guys, this again, my candle's going crazy. This is a big fat shadow. The fact that you can be, I'm going to give you an example. I am a very independent person. I can make it on my own, but I don't have to prove this to anyone. And being able to make it on your own doesn't mean that you don't love. That you don't love to be, especially when you're in your true feminine energy. You can be very charismatic, very fiery, very passionate, but still long for a protection of a masculine energy. One does not include the other. The yin and a yang externally with a masculine and a feminine energy doesn't mean, I always say this to you guys, true love, true divine love, 2 lone wolves. two sovereign, independent beings who can exist on their own. And this is actually how you prove that your relationship is deprived of codependency. Because in order not to have codependency, you need two lone wolves. So one does not include, I feel like there's an internal battle within you. It's like you're frustrated with yourself. Why do I want this love so much? Why do I want partnership so much? It is true that if you long and want for something, want something, it means that you lack that frequency within yourself. So you're going to have to work through that. We're going to have to alchemize it, teach you to alchemize it within yourself. But loving love, wanting love, dreaming of love has nothing to do with not being independent. Do you know what I mean? Surrender. I can feel your energy. I like your energy, this collective. Very charismatic, very the star. The star. I love this card. Sorry, it's a new deck. I just cleansed it yesterday. Look how beautiful it is. Like this magical dark fairy. Maybe you like, it just came to my mind. It can be a detail for some of you. Maybe you like wearing darker colors. Maybe you like fairies. But it's good. Star is good. Star is healing. I'm hearing, you know what I'm hearing as well, because that's on top of that surrender. Surrender to your wish. Surrender to your wish. I feel there's a bit of a disimbalance of masculine energy within this collective. What I mean by that, I feel distorted masculine. We all have masculine and feminine within, right? I feel like this collective, you would be ashamed to admit that your biggest dream in life is love. That every time you look at the sky and you see a shooting star, you dream for love. You would be ashamed to admit that. Because you think that it's going to show your weakness. It's going to show you're not that 9 of coins kind of energy. That you're not independent. And you frustrate yourself with you get frustrated with yourself, but it's not true. You can be the true. What do we always talk about? This is wounded masculine energy. First of all, caring of what other people will say. Who cares? Who cares what they think? I love love. I love love. I think we all crave love. We all deserve love. Love makes us all happy. And every time I hear someone who's like, I don't want to commit, I don't want to this and that, I don't want to be in a relationship, blah, love, you know, I feel so bad for these people because it's a mask. It's a lie. We all want love. Not just romantic love, but love on the level of frequency. Whoever says these nonsense kind of the things, it's a person who lacks love. When you truly love yourself, you embody love. And when you embody love, you have love towards all things. Love activates you. Whether that's love of a romantic love, or love of a mother to a child, you love love. You want everyone to love, to feel love. Do you know what I mean? There's healing that needs to happen. You need to surrender to this desire. More than anything, I'm going to tell you this. If you have this dream, universe always listens. Always. Universe listens to our laughter. Universe listens to our prayers. Universe listens to our tears. And universe wants to grant us all the wishes that we have. That's why when we ask for something, universe sends us things, people, lessons, experiences to help us to adjust our frequency to the frequency of the dream that we want, right? So many people are stubborn. That ain't universe's fault, right? Father Universe does what he can on a daily basis. But if your dream is love and you don't even have it within you to say it out loud, universe, please send me love. How would the universe would grant you this wish if you don't respect your wish enough to admit to other people, to the world, this is what I want, and I don't care what anyone thinks. You're ashamed of love, you're ashamed of your gift. You're ashamed of your dream? Surrender to your dream, I'm hearing. Let's do another row. Let's do another row. Two of Wands. Two of Wands. There's something you need to release, this collective. The High Priestess. That's on top of that tower. I feel like you're a little bit disconnected from your higher self. It's like your higher self is trying to communicate with you, trying to send you messages, but you're a little bit frustrated. I feel like we want to do a little bit of for guidance. Hold on, 10 of Pentacles. And we have the Hierophant, High Priestess and the Hierophant. I just heard, if this whole reading resonated, you guys, we all have, I always say this, right? We all have a variety of soulmates, right? A couple of soulmates that are alive somewhere out there that you could have the most wonderful relationship with, right? And on our highest, most abundant timeline, there is this perfect soulmate for every person for this lifetime. The one that you signed a soul contract, that if we make it to that highest, most aligned timeline, we're going to be together, we're going to thrive in life together, that perfect relationship. Not everyone gets there though. To some people, it doesn't require much work because it's part of their lifetime, right? It's those kind of people that meet, it's like high school sweetheart, they meet their soulmate when they're like 17 and they spend their whole life together, right? It happens. But for most people, we choose to walk a journey of lessons first to prepare ourselves for that beautiful relationship. And some people fail to learn these lessons. Some people, and I feel some people don't even have, like, halfway there. I always say this to you guys, there's a moment halfway there of our life for every person when we move from physical karma to spiritual karma. I have a lot of content about this. You can find it on my YouTube. And at that moment, some people will recognize that moment. It might not be conscious, but it's a moment of, I have to change, I have to shift something, I have to change my ways, I have to grow. It's this moment of, you know, some people call it like midlife crisis, but it sometimes happens. It's somewhere between our late 20s, usually for most people, and mid 40s, right? And some people manage to see the lessons, to recognize the pattern, to change, and they shift from physical karma to spiritual karma, and they start to walk towards alignment. Whether you're going to get there or not, it's a whole different story, but the window of opportunity, you jump through it. But some people don't jump through it, and they stay their whole life on a level of physical karma. I feel this collective, you jumped through that window already. You already jumped through that window. If you're here, if you're listening, you already jumped through that window. But you do have a potential to really reach your highest, most aligned timeline. And on that timeline, you do have that beautiful soulmate. That's what I've heard specifically when I pulled the Hierophant with the High Priestess. It's like this beautiful pairing. What do I always say to you guys? And what did I just say? Universe will want to prepare you. And watch the video that I posted yesterday. It will help you too. And you know that 10 of Pentacles, this is my highest, most abundant timeline card. I feel like more than anything for this collective, we're going to tap right now a little bit more into your energy, into what's going on in your physical life, into some guidance. But I feel for this collective, it's the attitude. It's the attitude that they want to adjust. There's something within you. There's a shadow. That's a shadow that would block you potentially. If you were to meet this person now, it wouldn't have a happy ending. There are things within you that you need to heal. Wherever this anger is coming from, I feel this energy of a wounded masculine within you. This hyperachiever, I have to do it on my own. I have to be independent. I don't need anybody. It's a shame to... Why would you? I don't understand. I mean, this is the curse of today's world, that people are ashamed. Oh, you gotta hate misogyny, you guys. Everything that is feminine, they deem as weakness. There is no other strength as powerful as the feminine strength. We're the portal to the spirit realm. We're walking portals to the spirit realm. We're incredibly powerful. Most of us dormant because of this patriarchal society that we live in. How could you be ashamed of anything feminine, of feelings, of love, of caring for another? That's a true strength of spirit. There's no greater force in this life than love. I love love. Have I mentioned I love love? If you want love, you have to be love. If you want love, you have to admit to the universe you want love. All right, let's dive deeper. I want to do some shadow work. For this collective. Let's see what's been going on recently. Let's see what Spirit wants us to know in the Oracle, and then we're going to do some guidance. Okay. There's something I've one more. What, we have two, that's fine. Yeah. I was hearing something because for your first card is absence. I was hearing absent father. So whether physically absent, or sometimes you can have a father and he's physically present, but he ain't no example of a healthy masculine energy. And we have ego as your second card. Conversation. To be honest, what I was hearing with these three, you guys, remember we were talking about this wounded masculine energy within you that you need to heal. I'm seeing my heal your masculine card. I feel whether you know it or not, you're very much in your ego. Ego is the flesh, the physical world, the masculine side of light. Life, side of life. I feel I'm sensing some of you in this collective, you would know you have abandonment wound. Hearing daddy issues, to be honest. So maybe some of you have already been working through this. You've already been healing that. But I feel you need another rodeo. I feel you need to go deeper if you have been healing that. I feel you really need to step into, to get to that highest, most aligned timeline. I'm hearing really step into that feminine energy, that beautiful, soft, feminine energy. And it's interesting because with that conversation, I wasn't hearing a specific conversation with someone. I was hearing how you hold conversations, how you manage conversations. So bear with me. People who say, that they want a long-lasting, soulmate, mature kind of love and kind of relationship, right? And I've mentioned this in this yesterday's video that I told you to watch. What you want, you have to be in order to attract it, right? You have to give what you want from another person. So if you are incapable of sitting down and having a mature, serious conversation with your partner, with your friends, with your family members, where sometimes accountability is needed, sometimes apology is needed, sometimes vulnerability is needed, how do you want a mature relationship? All these things are given to a mature relationship. So examine this collective, how you hold conversations, because I feel like it's that temper of yours. Maybe Spirit has been testing you recently. We are in the window of opportunity. I talk about this all the time, 10th of the 10th until 11th of the 11th, when we are being tested to see, do we need to repeat a loop, a cycle, or we've learned our lessons. This is a time to show that we've broken certain patterns, that we're ready to try to do things differently. I feel there's a pattern, a bit of a temper and frustrations for difficult conversations with this collective. Maybe you get easily triggered in difficult conversations. Maybe it costs you a great deal to ask for apology, to admit that you were wrong, to take accountability, to also understand the side of another person. Maybe most difficult conversations, especially, I am seeing a mother figure as well. Maybe especially when, you have a lot of resentment towards someone. Maybe there are certain people in your life, in your family, that they always ignite you. And you cannot, it's like you try, you make an attempt, but it ends up being a fight instead of a conversation. I feel like it's something that this collective you need to work through. That temper of yours, it's not just who you are. Remember what I said about fire? It's a shadow. When you're healed, the most fiery person will be able to show maturity in serious conversations. Temper is one thing, but then there's temper and there's bad temper, okay? We have carless. It may be a detail just for some of you, just as a confirmation. Maybe you don't have a car, or maybe your car broke recently. We have inside scoop, a closer look, noisy, up in your business. Maybe you have someone in your family. Maybe for some of you, this is this mother figure that's always in your business. You guys, it's coming to my mind, so I want to say this to you, okay? We are who we are, okay? Bear with me. Yes, granted, there are as many versions of us as people who know us, because we are perceived by whoever's looking at us, right? So whoever you are, there's going to be one person who's going to have one visual of you and another person completely different. But we are who we are. We should treat everyone in the same way. So let me explain. Obviously, when you're healed, when you're centered, when you're sitting in a place of that love, right? You are love because you embody love, because you have self-love, right?